guys, welcome to the channel. I am so glad that you're here. And so we're back in Sulani, but not building something you might expect. So I was thinking about what to build in this volcano lot because, to be honest, I couldn't imagine anyone actually living on this lot. At least in my type of gameplay and maybe some of you guys. So I wanted to try and do something a little more interesting. And being as though this lot is a little bit small in that it's longer than it is wider, I thought it might be interesting to maybe build a research facility or a science lab, something like that, because it's right at the base of the volcano, and I thought it would be kind of a cool build for you guys who are into role-playing or kind of playing things out. I don't think it's possible to have this lab as a functional lab if you have Get to Work. I just set it as a generic lot, so really up to you guys how you use it, but I thought it would be really good for storytellers or role players, like I said, to use the lab to your liking. But I was thinking a lot about the conservationist career, and I thought it would be a nice place for your Sims who are either scientists or conservationists to come here and do their research and have kind of like a team of scientists that work here at the base of the volcano. And I made the traits for this lot be the one that has earthquakes and then volcanic activity, and I forget what the other one is, but yeah, I thought it would be kind of an interesting idea to build because I haven't really seen anyone else do a research facility. I thought this would be a good idea to build this in Sulani, especially on this lot, and I wanted it to kind of blend into the surroundings, so I tried to make use of these really dark black rocks that are very similar to the volcanic rock that's kind of around the volcano. So yeah, so I don't know if you guys watched the Maxis Monthly live stream today, but usually I don't watch the Maxis Monthlies and I just kind of catch up later, but when I found this out, I tuned in immediately. So apparently there's going to be 350 window swatches added to the items in game, a lot like what they did to the doors and arches, I think. So my assumption was correct before. They're definitely adding these swatches as they go along. It will only be a matter of time before they add perhaps to base game items. I'm hoping, please, base game items. And columns. We need more colors with columns because they don't match with anything. Also, the Sims team went on a new branding journey with the plumb bob as well as the loading screen and some of the UI and stuff like that and the box art. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think I kind of understand the reasoning behind some of the design decisions that they made, but as a professional graphic designer, in my professional opinion, I don't think it was a good move, and here's why. I've seen that the very bright color blocking, it's kind of trendy right now, and honestly, if you adhere to trends, especially with something like The Sims, then it's going to be very outdated in a few years. So I really miss the minimal and kind of sleek design that it once had, And if anything, I would go more minimal and more sleek, so that way it could be timeless and more long lasting in its design. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of the plumb bob either for that reason. It doesn't look very polished. It almost looks like we're going back, like reverting to, I don't know, MS Paint. Can I say that? I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend any designers on the team that may have worked on it. Maybe there are reasons that we are that we don't know about, but yeah, I'm not really a fan. I do kind of understand why they took away the different colored icons for the expansions, the stuff packs, and the game packs, because I think eventually you would run out of color to differentiate between the packs, because at a certain point then you're just doing different shades of the same color and then it gets really muddy. And so I think I understand why they did that, to where it's just, the blue for expansions, or no, game packs, and just the light green for stuff packs, and etc, etc. So I think I understand, and you can just filter by pack, so it's not like that big of a deal. So I really wanted to have this little outside area be kind of like the botanists or the researchers were kind of testing how plants interacted with different altitudes or with other plants. So that's why I set that little area outside. And of course they have to be properly labeled, so I used some of the signage that came with Get to Work, I think, maybe. Just size them down so they look like little tags. I was trying to find something better, but we don't really have any labels for gardening, so yeah, so that was a thing. So we're going on to the inside, and what I'm doing now is bar workstations, so things that are kind of not the main points of focus to the research facility. I put here, except for maybe the geologists and archaeologist station. I think geology would probably be a big deal considering they're right next to the volcano, but one could argue a researcher or scientist that studies volcanoes would actually be there instead. I was kind of imagining like an intern kind of on the end or something, so I didn't put a ton of stuff on the end there. But on these bar stations, I have somebody that is studying the frogs that are native to Sulani. Maybe they are more of a wildlife conservationist. And then here I'm just putting a bunch of precious stones and rocks and artifacts on this particular station. And then I think I also I think that was it for these bar stations. But yeah, here, put the little frog there. I don't know why I don't decorate with more of these things that are in debug. Oh, that reminds me. The best part of the Maxis Monthly was the announcement that they were putting 1,000 debug and world objects as regular objects in the catalog to use for building. And oh my gosh, I lost my mind when that happened. When I found out about that, I tuned into the live stream and I was looking at all the stuff that they were putting on the lot that they were like testing the items or like showing off the items, and there were like so many things that I didn't ever think I could ever use, like fencing and world bushes and trees, and oh my gosh, I am so excited for that, and I can't wait to build with those items. It's probably gonna take me at least 5 times longer to build now because of it, but I hope you guys don't mind. I'm really excited, as you can tell. But yeah, and then I wasn't there for this announcement, and I don't think a lot of people have really talked about it. But there's a story mode in CAS where you can do like a little mini quiz, and it personalizes the randomized feature to the kind of personality traits, or I don't know, like for example, if it asked how would your sim take a friend out for their birthday. So like the 3 options would be take them out to dinner, throw them a party, or what friends. So I would imagine if you clicked the what friends option, then you would have a loner sim, or have a sim that has a loner trait. That's kind of what I assume it's like. I didn't really look too much into that because I don't make a lot of sims. I'm generally just a builder, so obviously all the debug items really excited me. But it is kind of cool to have more customization to the randomized feature in CAS. So I don't know, it could be really interesting for you guys. So what I'm building now in the facility here is just kind of like a break room type of thing. And now that I think about it, it probably wasn't the best idea to make it all open plan, especially right next to the bar research tables, because I'm sure that they would want some quiet, and maybe somebody is like in the kitchen making noise or watching TV. From a realistic standpoint, probably not the best idea, but I was just trying to work with the space that I had available to me, because this lot really isn't that big. When I was building this, my husband kind of looked over and he's like, why would a expensive research facility be at the base of a volcano? Like, nobody would do that. And I was like, listen, this is The Sims, and I think it would be really cool to build a research facility, so, you know, you can just go over there, play your own game. So, yeah. But, so yeah, from a realistic standpoint, something like this probably wouldn't be at the base of a volcano, but that's beside the point. So, this particular room, I imagine a botanist would be here, and they would be studying the flora and fauna of Sulani, and how to better conserve it, how to better take care of them, or it. And so I really tried to give that feel that this sim really loves plants and nature in general. So I thought it would be kind of cool to include this display case and just put a bunch of plants in there. I think that I did something similar when I created the lab with my good friend Sam. I basically furnished half of it and she built half of it. And honestly, that's one of my favorite builds I think I've ever done. And if you want to check that out, I think I will be able to put it in the right hand corner for you guys to check out. It's I forget what we called it, but it's definitely a functional lab. It's on the lot that you would go to in the scientist career, and it's a circle, which is very interesting. But yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't before. It's a really cool build. And then Sam, also known as Hey Harry, she's an amazing builder, and I was really happy to do that collab with her, so definitely check out her channel too. So this room is going to be focusing on like the ocean and marine life, and it looks like I went back to the botanist room because I found the cabinets from Get to Work I really love them. They're one of my favorite items, and I will often use them in offices and things like that. Just gives it a little added realism. Alright, back to the marine biologist's office. I wanted to make sure that I had some fish tanks in here for fish that they're studying and are going to release back into the wild, of course. Unless they're not healthy, then they will try to, bring them back to health and then release them. And yeah, so this is a marine biologist, and I thought it'd be really cool to have that. I think it's technically a spy map from the secret agent career, but it kind of looked like a ocean map, and maybe they have some like tags on whales or dolphins, and they're studying their migration patterns. So that's kind of what I was thinking with this map above the desk. And then I really liked the desk that came with Strangerville, but I didn't really like how grody it was, so I just basically put it underneath another table so that way it was a little more clean and not as scary. So I found out that this particular mirror, you can put the map into it and it looks kind of cool. And I also found out that no other mirror you're able to do that, so I decided against using a frame for it. These fish, of course, are not real fish. They are just examples of some of the fish that are in Sulani. And I found these really cute fish food boxes, so I put a few on top of the desk, like they have some there in case they run out. And then here in the corner I put the analyzer machines. I don't know, actually yeah, I'm pretty sure they do work if you wanted to use them. They increase the logic skill. So if you do have a sim that is a scientist, you could bring them here and, practice your analyzing skills. And then the very top room on the research facility is the big scientist's office. So this would be a sim that owns the facility, and they lead the team in all matters of research. I imagine that they have the Nobel Sim Prize or a Nobel Sim Prize. I imagine that they're very prominent scientists in the community or something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking anyway when I was building their office. I'm not entirely sure if it's a woman or a man, but whoever it is, they're very, very smart, and they have big plans to help Sulani flourish and stay beautiful. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this build, and we're going to be going into the screenshots here in a minute. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next build. Bye!